to enhance. Hey everybody, I'm just reading some comments. Zav is cracking me up in chat. Welcome to DG360. We're gonna go friend of the channel here, Montoya. Let's see what he's talking about. I like this because I remember being the first to like gravitate towards this space, which was the funding, which was the revenue, which were the expenses, which was the business side of things. Go timestamp that shit on DG360 back in the day. We were called the games, and I was the very first to start talking real business. I was the first to start talking about that cash. If the company was on the right path, if it was a healthy company, what the P&Ls look like, what are like, let's open the books on this side of the pond here and see what's going on in America since it's a privately owned company. They fucking started posting on the RSI Cloud Imperium site. Awesome. Or on the Cloud Imperium site, they started posting the numbers. And I would like to say that I was the reason that shit happened in the first place, because I was focused on financials while not one other content creator was. So let me just push this narcissistic button right now.
I'm in a fountain.
But I can say, and I feel good about this, that it seems as if Montoya has, I've passed the baton on to Montoya because Montoya is doing a good job with this. I watch him and he's got some pretty good opinions when it comes to like the business aspect side of Cloud Imperium games. So let's hear what he's got to say. Revenues might blast past 2024 revenues might blast past 2023. They might. It's looking pretty frothy, man. Like, yeah, let's just see. They might. I was thinking maybe they're going to start plateauing, but there's a good possibility going through into 2025 if Cloud Imperium plays their cards right. They could blast off all the way through to 2025 till next year, like way into next year. So let's see what Montoya has to say about these revenues here.
Interesting. Very interesting. The month of September this year coming in much, much bigger than previous September, upwards of 17% over last year.
It's a nice increase.
Interesting because, well, two things. First of all, what was sold? There was the Argo mech, there was the Peregrine, there was the CitizenCon goodies pack. Was enough of that sold? The ship showdown, I guess. Maybe people are buying the ships from that. But surprising to see how much bigger this month came in compared to the previous year and the year before that. I'm shocked, not shocked. Let's say I'm pleasantly surprised because I do want to see this game made, right? I'm pleasantly surprised to see yet another year coming in where it looks like we're on track for $120 million for the year. This drives the haters crazy. They lose their mind to see people putting money into this game, and I love it. I love it. But the interesting thing is this, and this is anecdotal. My circle of friends, and these are whales from 2013, 2014, they are not putting new money in. This isn't their money coming into this game right now. They've bought what they've wanted. They use store credit. They melt ships they have. Melting means you simply getting store credit for something you own already and then putting it towards something new. That's not new money. They're simply just churning things within their hangars, basically, not spending new money. So I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see this amount of money coming in for what should be a slow month. I mean, we had the Argo mech, the Peregrine, the digital goodies bag, and I guess the ship showdown, people possibly bought from that. But it's surprising for me to see a month of September come in at this.
By the way, for that mech suit on that price, I got to push the shame button. Like, for real, what in the fuck, dudes? Like,
shame.
Like, what?
Shame.
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 Shameful. Shameful. I'll call him out. That was absolutely shameful. Cool as fuck. Purely's got one. Cool as fuck. But damn, just seemed like to me, like did not come across very well to me and a lot of others out there that just felt like it was a blatant money grab. I mean, it was just like, oh, you want a fucking mech suit? you're going to pay through the nose. See, they knew what they had. They knew what they wanted. A lot of people were like, well, it's just a mech suit. It shouldn't be this much money. Well, they knew they had you when it was actually fucking thought of in the first place. They knew it because they knew we wanted a cool ass mech suit, and all the other fucking mech suits and Titan suits that will evolve. I'm actually very much looking forward to like variations of like Warframe fucking mech suits, and I want to see like them go crazy on that shit, and then maybe it'll be worth what they sold this one for.
This level. Also, be aware, and I know I fall for this all the time, and I know you do too, when everyone was screaming and crying, complaining about the whole Argo mech story. The story was that CIG said that the big cargo...
They got a recipe for success with this, and, you know, like, again... I don't hear anybody talking about this. It's kind of interesting, some of these ideas we bring up here, and then we see them go into the game. It is very cool, actually. You know, in our community, we bring up these really neat ideas, and then we start to see them being inserted. In fact, I guarantee you there's a theory crafting video about how we want our mech suits in this game, like from 2015. I almost can tell you there's probably a video in the vaults on this channel where we're talking about this shit, and everybody is like, no, don't do that. Oh, don't listen to DG. Back in the day, man, people hated my shit. I would be like, okay, and this is what I want, 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 and I would theory craft the shit out of like all these ideas, and then people would scream, no, 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 feature creep, feature creep, feature creep, man. I was doing that shit before people were even yelling feature creep because they didn't even understand what the fucking word meant. And then they thought it got a little long in the tooth. They were like, oh, it's a little too much theory craft in DG. You better scale it back because now we want this game to be done now. That was fucking like 7 years ago, which is fucking hilarious to me. Before people knew what feature creep was, man. You know what I call it? A fucking imagination, man. It's called having an imagination. It's called having a good time. It's talking about new ideas you can create, put in the game, and have a blast when they're in there because you fucking thought it in the first place. You're welcome.
I'm in a fountain.
Boxes can no longer be moved with the tractor beams. You now have to have this particular vehicle here to move these boxes, and people don't like that. Now, if you went onto Reddit or you went onto Spectrum, you'd see people screaming and crying and complaining that CIG has gone too far, and they will not support this, they will not fund this, they will not buy it. And you get the feeling that it's a majority. But if it wasn't,
but it's not. It's the loudest voices, and then you see the revenue skyrocket, and that's what I always try and tell people. The loudest voices aren't the fucking majority. They usually are never the majority. The loudest voices are just simply the loudest voices. That's it. That's it.
The majority. Look, I'm not putting these players' concerns aside. I think they definitely have concerns, and you can be upset about the way it was done. But right, if you look at the actual facts, end of the day, it doesn't look like the protests and the claims of not supporting the game and the claims of never buying anything are true. It may be that these are all new people coming in. So what is the one comment I saw on Reddit?
Where was it? True execute.
Not there. Was it here? Someone was saying that it's all the new young backers that came into the game like in 2018, 2019. They all have...
Who cares? It doesn't matter. You know what ends up mattering at the end of the day for this business to thrive, to grow, to make games for the fucking world to become a reality? It's money. It's these fucking bars. That's what these fucking companies rely upon. This is the lifeblood, man. This is the lifeblood. This is the make or break of a fucking game dev company. You know how much money game devs burn through? Holy shit, you have no idea. I know a lot of people are like, $800 million, $800 million. But if you guys saw the fucking money they burnt through, and trust me, it ain't all Chris Roberts yachts. Okay? It's fucking supporting real people, making money, working a real job. Those expenses, ridiculous. You know how hard it is to bring on somebody today? in America, like as an employee. You know how much an employee costs you as an employer? Ridiculous amounts, man. Ridiculous amounts. And they got 1,000 employees. Psh. I mean, 800 million doesn't sound like that much with 1,000 employees, man. Burning the midnight oil, dudes. Fucking making this server tech that's never been made before, man. Are you kidding me? Pioneering a new fucking tech that will revolutionize gaming, and this, you know, it's crazy to me that like gamers are against that. Like gamers get all upset. Oh, this is a scam. Oh, this is a waste of money. And they don't fucking realize what's actually happening here. I mean, the real story is that there's tech being worked on that will push the entire industry forward if it actually is solved. Like, why aren't people talking about that? Why are people excited about that? Whether they do it or not, but they got a hell of a great chance to do it. These bars say they do. You know, like these bars make it more probable for them. But the longer these bars are, the more probable it becomes that they actually might be able to give us dynamic server meshing. That's why I focused on the numbers years and years ago. And that's why I love when Montoya focuses on these. He's bringing up points I brought up in the past, like literally within the past month.
Jobs now. All these high school and university kids got into the workforce, and now they have disposable income. And there's a sweet spot, you see. The time between getting a full-time job and getting married, you've got this disposable income. And the theory is that these kids, probably mid-20s, early 30s, have this money and are now piling into this. So for your sacrifice, I thank you, ladies and gents, for what you've done. I still want to see this game get made, and 120 million in funding for 2024, which looks like we might be on track for, will take us a bit closer to actually getting a completed game, which is what I've been saying since 2014. I'm still waiting for my wonderful prediction from 2017 where I said, guys, don't expect next year to be over 30 million. It's impossible that this keeps on going up. And then the following year was 47. And then, well, look, 2019 was interesting. Remember, that was COVID. And I think we were surprised. Well, I was surprised because the later part of the year was just massive. 2020, the excuse was that a lot of people are home. A lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are basically online perpetually and are looking to spend money on things which is keeping them entertained. So that was the excuse for 2020. Now, 2021 came along and again, fell short in the beginning, but then had an absolutely massive October, November, December were huge, pushing us over 86 million. I did not think that 2022 would be where it is, but look, this is the new norm right now. And it's surprising to me that we are pulling these numbers in. But after 2022, considering the massive November, December, well, November is just massive, 2023 was repeated again.
21 was a year where a lot of larger subscribed YouTube channels started covering Star Citizen. 2021 was the year you had a lot of the bigger names start hitting. 2022, 2023. All of a sudden it started catching like wildfire in communities that are very well established, that had large subscription base, like Level Cap, like Summit One, like, you know, like all these, like they just kept stacking in. They just kept coming in playing Star Citizen. So you had it was the best advertising. It was free advertising for Cloud Imperium, quite literally. COVID obviously played into this. I mean, look at the jump from 2019 to 2020. Look at this up here at 47 million from 2019 jump into 2020 to 78 million. It literally doubled that year. So yeah, I think COVID had a little bit to play in that, but like primarily I think that as you're seeing the bars increase year after year, it's just the title's getting out there. The more and more people are understanding like what Star Citizen is, and they need to work on how to keep asses in seats, and that's stability. And I've been talking about and they're working on the part that gives us the stability now, the server meshing.
The month of May for this year is just insane, 25 million. But most surprisingly are the quiet months. I think you can gauge the success of a year of funding based upon what happens on the quietest of months.
Yeah.
Now, we know CitizenCon is going to be huge. We know there's going to be some surprise ships. We know there's going to be some concept sales. Will this be the year where we get that big capital ship teaser from something else, like an Origin capital ship? Everyone's always waiting for it, and it never comes. But if there was a year,
it was also the first Invictus, Execute, bringing out a really good point here. 2020 was also the first Invictus. Like they started bringing these dynamic events. They started rethinking things too, right? They started having more dynamic events, right? They started bringing people in. They started bringing, they started giving people more reasons to like log into the game, and they monetized the shit out of that. They were trying to figure out more ways to bring in the revenue.
A concept sale for a new $1,000, $2,000 ship. This might be it. So I'm fully expecting the month of October to be massive. I'm fully expecting the month of November to be more than 28 million. And I'm looking at 120 million for the year, which is a shockingly huge amount of number, but yet
I'm getting worried that they're going to involve some type of additional land sales type thing, like a land sale. I hope that doesn't happen. That's just a fear I have.
You know what?
I don't want them to do that.
Criticize as you may, CIG's marketing team, the FOMO they've managed to engage, I think they've hit it. They got their stride. And as an old backer of the game who rarely puts in new money, in fact, I coughed up $35 for the latest Argo mech because they got me. But I held off long enough. I'm surprised to see these figures keep on rolling in, but I do think there's definitely a new generation of backers. Not these guys, but there's a new generation that came in around 2020 who now have the...
I don't think it's a generation. I just think it's more people are aware of the title now, because of the YouTubers, the popular YouTubers making us aware of it, the popular streamers making us aware of it,
Disposable income. One thing about delaying this game, it seems the more they delay it, the bigger the funding waves get, which is insane. But that seems to be what's happening there. So, congratulations, CIG. It looks like you're on track for a record-breaking year. And I'm shocked that it is the month of September. How's August? Also August, September, both of them huge. What they're saying on Reddit. FOMO is a hell of a drug. Absolutely correct. It's gross how often CIG relies on this. Well, CIG relies on this because it works. All gaming companies do this in one way or another. If there's a time-limited loot box or whatever it is, some fancy flair only for limited time, that's what drives you to get it. You need FOMO in marketing. CIG knows this. The marketing team has discovered this a long time ago. So I'm not shocked or surprised by it.
Dude, I got mad at ship sales a long time ago until I realized, why the fuck am I mad about it when it's the lifeblood for the company? I did a DG 180 on my own opinion. I remember I did a couple videos back in 2019, 2017. I can't remember the year. What was the dude on Base Radio? Do you guys remember that channel? It's an old channel. They did like a podcast. Relum was on it, and I can't remember the other dude's name. Older dude. You guys probably don't remember, some of you guys. It was called the Base Radio. I went on there as a guest, and I was talking to him. I was pissed off about ship sales back in the day, right? I had that opinion, but then like as I started getting into the financials and really fucking knowing the business, I was like, why would I get upset at the very thing that is the lifeblood on making this project a success? This is how they're making the money. Whether you like it or not, this is how they're making their money. Period, man. That's how they're doing it.
But it is true. But again, the one thing I want to raise here is how what we saw online, it felt like the community is saying, no, we are not supporting this, and yet the numbers behind it proved otherwise. So I keep on falling for it, but I think we all know better at this point. When you see people shouting and screaming on Spectrum, making angry posts on Reddit, they do not represent the actual community. They represent the online part of the community, which isn't everyone. But if everyone felt that way, we would not see a record month of August. What the hell happened in August? We would not see a record month of September. So once again, the online community not actually representing what.
Anyway, Montoya is making some really good points here. I agree with most of them. I don't think it's a generational thing. I just think it's like, you know, that's the only thing I disagree with is the fact that it's not really a generational thing. It's more that there's more free advertising by larger YouTubers and streamers out there, just making it more known to the masses. It's the best free advertising marketing that Cloud Imperium never knew that they had until they really realized they did. And they just kind of rely on that. Just rely on that. That's why when I look at the marketing numbers, I'm like, do they really need to be spending that much money on marketing at this point? I don't know. It's kind of like when I think about Tesla. You know, Tesla and Elon, they never really advertise, man, and they're super successful. You know, they really don't focus a lot on advertising at all, and they're just super successful regardless. It's like word of mouth, man. Same thing with Star Citizen. It's just like the best advertising is us. It always has been, and always will be. And this project's been going on for a long time, and super successful in terms of the business and the model. I thought perhaps what we are going to see, and I saw this comment by Aether saying, hey, I don't think that they're going to plateau anytime soon. You might be right, Aether. You know, I was thinking like this year, maybe they're going to be plateauing. We'll see. It's very dependent upon CitizenCon. It's really dependent upon CitizenCon, and I will be here for CitizenCon those days for you, so you better be here live on stream. It's going to be a hell of a fun time. CitizenCon is my favorite time of year because I'm here 2 full days with you all on the weekend, the only time out of the year where I'm actually streaming on the weekend, so your asses better be here with me having fun. And Execute's going to be actually at CitizenCon, so we're going to be looking for you, Execute, when you're there, buddy. I can't wait to see you. I hope they better get you on. They better get you some cam time. You know what I'm saying, Execute? I better see my friend Execute on there. You grab somebody with the camera and you get up in their faces and you get in there, Execute. You show them how flexible you are, bro.